gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. That is the gospel hymn that came into my mind. If you could tell, I was a little nervous with that. That's the gospel hymn that came to my mind as I read these readings today. For today, these readings from the prophet Isaiah to St. Paul to the Corinthians, and then from the Gospel of John. Talk about a calling. Right? Talk about a calling. And all of us, we are all called. I wouldn't be standing here if I didn't answer a certain call. Father wouldn't be standing if you didn't receive a call. You would not be here if you did not receive a call. And this calling goes all the way back even into the first reading of Isaiah, of receiving that call. You are my servant. And those 12 tribes of Jacob was the foreshadowing of the apostles going and spreading the good news to the rest of the world. They shall seek salvation, and I shall bring salvation. And St. Paul to the Corinthians, he testifies, I was chosen by God to be an apostle. Chosen. He was called. He reminds Corinth that they are all called. See, they had fallen away. They had fallen away from the teachings of Christ. And then we have in the gospel John the Baptist. Behold the Son of God, who takes away the sins of the world. John was called to bring enlightenment to those who were seeking the Lord. So how are we all called? These readings are all about being called, and then not just being called, but then acting on that call. We can all be called. It doesn't matter if we're in grade school. I see a lot of children here. Stepping out of our comfort zone and being called to go sit, talk to those who might not be maybe in the in crowd. Maybe it's you're a teenager, not knowing maybe what path to take and maybe trying to fit in. What is that path? What is that calling? Right? Jesus didn't call us to live a life of comfort. He gave us a life of purpose. You know, we have ministries throughout the parish, from St. Vincent de Paul, who answers the call to feed the poor, clothe the naked. The Knights of Columbus, who answered a call to help those maybe with some mental or physical challenges in their life, amongst other things. We have the Homebound Ministry, who go and bring Christ to those who can't come to church, who thirst for Jesus. We have the ushers, we have the musicians, all to bring glory and praise to our Lord. All to bring a little piece of sunshine. To bring a little piece of our Lord into your lives, so that what you can do is take that little piece, that little light, and take that out into the world. I'll share just a little story. We just came back from a trip. And this trip, we were fortunate enough to go on a snorkeling adventure. And this adventure, we had a guided tour. And we had two tours, two guides. One of them was Heather, and the other one was Bill. And in our discussions, they didn't know us from anybody. We met them, and there was an energy. There was an energy about them. They met us. They were so, their purpose was to make our trip as enjoyable as possible. Regardless of our attitudes. It just so happened we had a very good attitude. And the two great attitudes coming together, oh, what the blessings that came from that trip. The sea turtles that we saw, the stingrays that we saw, and not just that we saw them, but that there are guys who are willing enough to go dive deep and get the picture of our children with the sea creatures. Now, if that wasn't good enough, okay, we still had it. We went around the island and we started talking. We learned more about our guys. And the one guy that happened to be in our Jeep, she started talking a little bit about herself, and she says, you know, I have a nickname. I'll let you guess what her nickname was. Sunshine. I think there's a reason why Sunshine is in my mind right now. She was sunshine to us. And look what she did to me. If there's anything that you're going to take, maybe you remember Sunshine that Deacon Paul maybe brought to you. And then now you're going to take that sunshine and maybe hopefully bring it to somebody else. And that is divine. That's what our Lord Jesus Christ wants. That's the kingdom of heaven here on earth is all about. Just those little pieces. If you can just be a little light, and believe me, I don't know if I have a bright light or not, and maybe you don't either. Maybe you're in the dark. But I'm going to tell you what, your little light, whatever that little light might be, is going to be brighter and more illumined than someone's darkness. You will be the light to somebody. Be that light. You know, we're right on the verge of celebrating Martin Luther King Day, right? I mean, in a time of social injustice, of someone being a light to society, right? Remember the civil disobedience, the strength that he had to be able to not fight back physical. Sunshine. So today we have a little bit of sunshine, whether you realize it or not. You all are sunshine, I love it. But today we celebrate. Today we celebrate the 75th wedding anniversary of one of our parishioners. 75 years. 75 years. Robert and Rose Pearson are celebrating their 75th wedding anniversary today. And they have been sunshine to me. They've been sunshine to the homebound ministers who bring the Eucharist to them. And one of their missions as we brought communion to them was they wanted to come here. They wanted to come here within this church with you, the congregation, and celebrate this day. It was one of Robert's wishes. He's like, I miss coming to Mass. Can you imagine that? How important Mass to receive the Eucharist. Maybe you're not there right now. Maybe just going to Mass is just another thing you check off the box. But Robert and Rose see sunshine here at Mass. And what a glorious thing to do. Heaven on earth is right here. And have them continue 75 years to be an example. That you too, can be that sunshine to people with you in your life. That you are all called. You're called on a mission. Sometimes it's not easy, but you are all called on a mission to be Christ to each other.